everyone, what is going on? So we are shoutcasting the TheKingFeen or Fen's team, and this is for the Go Battle League. I believe this was in Season 1 because he's ranked 9. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at his team. So he's using Froslass, Azumel, and Escavalier. So pretty, not super unique team, but it's relatively unique, right? I mean, Froslass we rarely ever see at all. Escavalier occasionally, once in a while. I've definitely faced it and lost to it myself. And Azumel, obviously, we see all the time. So it is a pretty spicy team for the most part. But let's take a look and see how he does. I believe there's 5 battles. I don't know if he wins or loses. I don't know what happens. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. So Froslass is going to go down to that Sky attack. Okay. Gonna go ahead and fall, and in comes Azumel. Probably just gonna farm down Escavalier does switch into Shift Tree, in comes Escavalier. So that opponent looks like he's running Caleb Pang's really powerful team. So Foul Play hitting the Escavalier, doing massive amounts of damage to that Escavalier. Escavalier, not wanting to risk the farm down, would have been hit by another charge attack, so Aerial Ace does come out, and it is shielded. So now Escavalier can shield. He's not going to shield. Okay, he could have shielded, but not wanting to shield, willing to let Escavalier go down and hopefully finish with Azumel in the back. Probably won't. Oh no, okay. Definitely can take the Leaf Blade, but it's going to do a lot of damage. Not shielding that Leaf Blade. We'll have to see. Can this Azumel really pull it off? Maybe he can. I don't know. So in comes that Escavalier. So we know the Escavalier is going to be farmed down. Going to have to shield the Sky attack. Could have shielded the Leaf Blade and then took the Sky attack. But deciding to do the other way, and that's totally fine. So this Ice Beam is coming out from Azumel, so can get to one more Ice Beam. Wow, gets to one more Ice Beam. This Azumel actually beats 2 grass types, so that is incredible. So going to go ahead and knock out that Meganium. In comes Escavalier and Azumel, able to pull it off. Wow, I thought he was going to be in trouble, but actually able to win. So going to jump into game 2. So it's Froslass versus Hypno. So we'll have to see. I mean, Froslass can take a lot of damage, obviously, from the Fire Punch as well as the Shadow Ball, if Hypno has it. I think most of the time we see Thunder Punch and Ice Punch, but even Thunder Punch should be enough or come very, very close to knocking it out because of how squishy it is. That Hypno does have Fire Punch, so correctly shielding that. Even a Thunder Punch, though, as I said, probably would have knocked it out. Shadow Ball comes out, and that is going to be enough to knock out the Hypno. In comes Melmetal, so Melmetal going to resist Avalanche. This is going to knock out the Froslass, no doubt about it. Rock Slide going to be enough, but Froslass already did its job, taking a shield and a Pokemon. Escavalier can go to town against this Melmetal. Now it is going to be neutral to the Rock Slide as well as the Superpower. It will be Superpower, doing a lot of damage. Might be able to farm. Oh, the Melmetal switches. Okay, Aerial Ace comes out. I didn't see what came in, so Aerial Ace is going to come out. Okay, it's a Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn taking a lot from this counter damage as well as the Aerial Ace damage. So Escavalier, very powerful Pokemon in the open Great League for Go Battle League. It really is. I actually want to try it myself. It's good for the Great League and the Ultra League. I've faced it in both leagues. I don't see it, as I said, I don't see it too often, but it's definitely a good Pokemon. So in comes Azumel. Obviously, Azumel cannot beat Ferrothorn unless if Ferrothorn is super weak. So at this range, the Ice Beam will be enough to knock out Ferrothorn. Luckily, it didn't have more health. So this Ice Beam will be enough to knock it out, as I said. And in comes that Melmetal, which is super low. Going to be able to take a Thunderbolt if it had it. So opponent forfeits, and they're jumping into game 3. So Froslass versus this Stunfisk. So Stunfisk going to take a lot from Avalanche, but at the same time, Discharge or even a Mud Bomb will do a decent amount. Not enough to knock it out, but it does a decent amount. One more Discharge should be enough, but the Avalanche comes through. Stunfisk may opt to shield this. We'll have to find out. No, not shielding it. Okay, doing a lot of damage. Another charge attack comes out. The Froslass going to opt to shield it, not wanting to go down, wanting to win the lead. So shielding that and able to survive. In comes this Registeel. So Registeel is going to be hit with a Shadow Ball. Now the thing about Registeel is, as good as it is, it cannot farm down. It's certainly not at this range, so we'll have to throw a Flash Cannon. Okay, it looks like the opponent is lagging quite a bit. That's okay, it happens, it's unfortunate. So this Froslass is just going to town, charging up. Charged up quite a bit of energy. It looked like he waited for his opponent, but then decided to throw the Shadow Ball. So it is what it is. Lag is super unfortunate, but you can't really blame somebody for taking advantage of it. I'm not saying he took advantage of it. I mean, he did give his opponent a little bit of time. But then continuing on. Anyway, the Froslass is going to go ahead and go for the Avalanche. Escavalier protects itself. Escavalier is going to want to look to farm down. Another Avalanche comes out against the Escavalier. So this Avalanche going to do a good amount of damage, but it is shielded, so Froslass does collapse. In comes a Zoom Arrow, and Escavalier is going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack or Flash Cannon. We'll have to see. It's going to be a Sky Attack. A Zoom Arrow can definitely take it. Just wanting to go for the Hydro Pump at this point, which should be enough to knock out the Escavalier. So let's see. So another Sky Attack coming through. Again, still has one shield, but is able to get to this Hydro Pump. Now, the lag could have changed something. I don't really know, but we all experience Go Battle lag, right? It happens. It's unfortunate. None of us like it. That's one of the reasons I don't use premium passes, but, you know, it happens. So the next match, game 4, is going to be Froslass versus Registeel. So Registeel going to do super effective damage with that Flash Cannon. So Froslass has to watch out or has to shield. Going to go ahead and go for that Shadow Ball. That does a lot of damage, actually. So it looked like he might have wanted to try and catch the Flash Cannon, but he does decide to stay in and shield it instead. So shielding that one. Trying to get to... Okay, going for the Avalanche. Maybe bluffing the Shadow Ball. Registeel probably will shield this one. Okay, yeah, he does shield. So not wanting to be knocked out. The Avalanche wouldn't have knocked him out, but obviously I would say he probably feared the Shadow Ball. Focus Blast, that's very interesting. The correct move actually is Flash Cannon because it's going to be super effective and it takes less energy against the Froslass. So, but that's okay. It could have been a misclick. So Registeel switches out into that Whiscash. Whiscash is going to be hit by this Avalanche. We'll have to see if Whiscash opts to shield. Froslass does so much damage. It's so squishy, but it does so much damage. I love this Pokemon. I used it in the Twilight Cup. I think it's been around in other cups as well. Definitely a great Pokemon. One I haven't tried for the Go Battle League, but these videos, you know, I might want to consider trying it. So Mudbomb hitting the Azumarill, not going to do much. But, you know, any damage is good damage, I guess. Azumarill will go for the Ice Beam. This is, let's see how much this does. It is enough to knock out that Whiscash, probably barely enough. And we'll have to see what comes in. Going to be that Registeel, which is going to collapse immediately from one bubble. And then in comes Tropius, best buddy Tropius at that. So Azumarill going to switch into Escavalier. Okay, I see it. So this Escavalier is going to be hit by a charge attack. Let's see what it is. Probably that Aerial Ace, yep. Going to do neutral damage. So an Aerial Ace coming back right into that Tropius. Probably wanting to get the shield away before bringing in a Azumarill and going for the Ice Beam, right? Which makes a lot of sense. Escavalier going to go for another Aerial Ace. This has to get the shield. No doubt about it. Yep, picks up the shield. And it looks like, oh, that Tropius could have farmed down. Probably should have farmed down and threw the charge attack at Azumarill. But at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because... Azumarill still has a shield, I think. So yeah, Azumarill is going to go ahead and go for this Ice Beam and be able to knock out that Tropius and take the win. So really well played. So jumping into the final game, I believe this is the final game. So definitely picking up the lead. Froslass super effective with the ice attacks. However, Frenzy Plant still knocks out of Froslass. So shields would still be required, but Froslass is going to go ahead and go for that Avalanche against Swamp. It would have been neutral. Just sticking around, staying in. Yeah, I mean, probably doesn't want to switch into Azumarill for fear that this Swampert has a Sludge Wave, and it probably does, to be honest with you. So going to go ahead and go for that Shadow Ball. Going to be not super effective, but it's going to do a lot of damage. But the Swampert invests its last shield. Is Froslass going to shield? No, I didn't think it would, just because that Swampert could probably get to another Hydro Cannon before Froslass gets to an Avalanche. It would have been hard to say. So let's see. Is this Swampert going to go for the Sludge Wave? I bet you it is. Or it's going to be a bait. It is going to be that Sludge Wave. Yep, most Swampert in the Great League do carry Sludge Wave over Earthquake. That's what I've noticed. Most in the Ultra League carry Earthquake. That's just what I've noticed. That's personally what I use. So in comes not Escavalier. Yeah, Escavalier is coming in to face off against the Venusaur. And Venusaur going to go for that Frenzy Plant. Escavalier will be able to double resist that. Still doing a decent amount because Escavalier, not the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. So Venusaur going to go ahead and go for that Frenzy Plant. Again, Escavalier can take it. Charging up extra energy and going for the Aerial Ace. So this Aerial Ace going to do a good amount of damage. Enough to knock out the Venusaur. In comes Registeel. So this is fantastic because Escavalier cannot be farmed down with Lock-On. Going to go ahead and go for that Drill Run attack. I believe this is probably enough. it is not enough, but it doesn't matter because Escavalier still has a shield. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying out Escavalier myself. Actually not shielding. It could have shielded and farmed down, but it doesn't matter. Although it was actually, I guess, close. But either way, great games. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. I hope you all have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.